All right, here we go again. Buckle up. So I'm not sure how much microphone time I have. Looks like I didn't charge up my charging cases, so I got those charging. So again, there's nobody that studied the deep state sexualization routine more than I did, but it didn't involve going out and having sex with people. There was a lot of money. At a certain point, there was a lot of money backing whatever they were trying to do. And that began in the 90s. Now, I'll tell you, I don't know who it was, but there are inmates that were at the FCI in Fort Dix that had the capability to move law enforcement. So the deep state existed back then, early 90s. And I'll tell you, Philadelphia Police Department and Mount Laurel were corrupt before, like in the 90s. Oh, it may have been Mount Holly. I can't remember if it was Mount Laurel now. Like, what was that place called? I didn't find the other police department. Where's it? Where's that place called? I don't remember where I did my security detail. Those cops came off as honest, but the guy that put me on it was corrupt. Right. No setup. And I don't go after people, so that was an attempt to get me to hit slug somebody or something. Right. I don't remember. It's you an ass. They're good cops. Right. I wasn't in law enforcement. I just sapper leader in between jobs, kind of doing security, right, with a dog. Maybe Sayreville. I think Sayreville's coming up. I'll have to look to see if that's it. Back then, they were honest, at least. Because I had interaction with them a couple times. We had conversation. They didn't try to set me up or nothing. Philadelphia or Philadelphia, not NYPD, Philadelphia Police Department. Of course, NYPD had it, or I'd be living there in like Flushing or something, right? Nah, I fit in great in New York. I just wouldn't, it wouldn't let me in. The deep state was operating. So, well, I went in the military. A lot of New York, like the Puerto Rican guys, they're from New York. So I must have, I don't know how connections worked back then because I was asleep, but I had some connections when I woke up. So I was, I was in, I guess. And the Asians, yeah, the Asians, Asians put me in. Thanks. So why did I go down this road? Let me think here. There was a point to all of this. Oh yeah, the sexualization. So when we look at Epstein, they said he's what's the word I'm looking for? He's a contradiction in sexuality, kind of. I mean, I guess he was heterosexual, but uh, I believe that part where he goes after again, it wasn't all of them, but a lot of the young girls were older looking young girls, and based upon what I know of those situations growing up, those are generally the women that get in trouble. What was her name? Kathy. Kathy White, I think her name was. She had an older boyfriend, but the more mature they looked, the more likely they had a older boyfriend. It was probably illegal, and back then, again, nobody. Nobody cared. Adults were. I mean, if you were like Uncle Eddie, and you had some like crazy thing going on, like Uncle Eddie in Philadelphia, they would arrest you. But um, so a lot of the so a lot certain it came out at a certain point that these older looking young girls had older boyfriends. Okay, so it's not just Epstein, but I believe Epstein was let into that because it doesn't make any sense. Because you could actually find an 18-year-old that looked younger than some of the whatever they were 15-year-olds or whatever that he was with, 14-year-olds. So it doesn't make any sense. And Epstein is somebody that actually came into my view shortly after waking up. It was a few years when he got arrested. Because before he got arrested, I was trying to explain how money works, but I was trying to tell people money isn't an absolute protector. It just depends on the metaphysics. But if you have money, you're protected from arrest, which he was too. But you're also protected generally from for them being able to do that to you. So he was a big target of spies, obviously. Now they're still trying to say that he worked with the Russians. I think he was compromised by the Russians. Again, they weren't in his life because he would have got arrested like who? Like really in his life. Like the others. Well, they made him the guy that dirties people. But they use it like with me. Well, if you go with more, you'll be dirtied. But yet hang out with Epstein all day. See, it's a scam. The arrest of Epstein is nothing. Again, remember the Democrats didn't arrest Epstein. If you ask the average person on the street, the Democrats went after Epstein. Right. So again, that's what they're doing to the Republicans. See, I don't know what the answer is. The mainstream media at this point is who you say they were. They weren't quite as far out before. They're very, very nervous because they make money from narcos and everything. Well, they go out and they kill news stories. The media is the same thing I was saying about the sex crime investigators. They kill certain investigations. And they say, well, Trump, you need that. You need that. Don't you need that, Trump? He's trying to kill the system protects you. See, that's that scam. Trump's a pedophile. Trump's a pedophile. When actually the pedophiles are out there in Europe remember, Epstein went to Europe. The EU people. They didn't arrest him. Right. If you're above a certain point, you didn't get arrested in those EU investigations. Right. You have to understand, these people are